going on, everyone? BG Wizard back for another video. I do not intend on making any more videos after this. We'll see what happens. Also turning the comments off on this one. Don't really care, but I saw there was a little bit of discussion about this whole 8v8 RBG thing, considering um, my relationship to RBGs and passion for it, whatever you want to call it. I just decided, you know what? I'll spend like 1 hour. I don't even think I spent an hour. Top of my head, not using any ideas I've had in the past, nothing, just literally top of the head. What can I come up with for a map for rated battlegrounds? Or I think one might be just a regular battleground. So I have 10 brand new World of Warcraft battleground maps for you today. Like I said, don't really care how this video does. It's gonna be shitty quality, but just throwing some ideas out into the atmosphere, and people can use them if they want, um, or not. Don't really care. So here we go. So first map here is this is just a Deepwind Gorge remake. So this would be for 8v8, 2 nodes. Okay, so just a node here and a node here. It looks like I forgot to put the graveyards on here. Probably like take out a little bit of this lane, like shave off a little bit so that you can kind of go this way. Or maybe not. I don't know what would be better, but probably the graveyard where it says return here, the graveyard would be there. So 2 nodes, they would give you passive points as usual for nodes. And then also, it's like a Deepwind Gorge used to be, so each team would have a cart, but the main thing is you have to go through the center, so there would be kind of a clogged up middle here, and teams can kind of decide whether they want to, play for the nodes and have their teams based, maybe 4 players here and 4 players here, or like 3 and 3 and maybe 2 in the middle. Like we'll see. I don't know what would happen, but and then the carts, of course, when you get a cart, you pick it up and then you have to run it back to your base through the middle again, and then you would steal 200 points from the enemy team and get awarded 200 points. So you'd get like 400 points if you were able to get a cart across. And of course, you have the nodes that can give you passive points as well if, the team fight's really clogged up, nobody can get it. Okay, that's the Deepwind remake. Next, obviously one of the most popular esports in the world, whether you're talking about Dota or League of Legends, this one is for 8v8. So what I have here is, again, gonna go with the old flag here. So Alliance would spawn on the left side, and the Horde would spawn on the right side. You have, I kind of just threw 2 buffs here. So here, let me actually restart. Let me restart here. So Alliance starts on the left, right? They have a flag. They have a top lane and a bottom lane. For this is 8v8. Only 2 lanes for 8v8. 3 I think would be too much. So you would spawn here and you would want to get this flag back to your capture, and this flag back to your capture. Horde, same thing. You want to get this flag back and this flag back. Okay, your res here obviously, and then these little black dots would be some line of sight things, and then each side would have like a power up. I think you'll see in the next slide I made a 10v10 version where it's equal, but I think if you were doing this on 8v8, you would want to give both teams Bloodlust or both teams 15% damage and stand buff on their side. I don't think it's smart to have 2 different buffs on each side because one of them could be much better than the other one. And then, of course, you have kind of a center that people can cross lanes into, and maybe just like some random line of sight things. So yeah, a League of Legends 8v8 map, basically. Dota, whatever you want to call it. Put some WoW twists on it and go nuts. Next, I have the 10v10 version of this map. So it would have 3 lanes. As you can see, there's a flag here, there's a flag here, there's a flag here. Same for Horde, here, here, and here. And of course, with the power-ups, now you can see each team has 2 power-ups in their their jungle lane, right? So you'd have I just kind of threw out Bloodlust, 15% stamina damage. The reason I would put stamina and damage is because I think if you were to capture this buff, 15% damage and stamina, if your team got that, you could almost immediately like force a team fight. So if your team got that, like let's say you're down like, a cap or two, and whatever, you're like losing, and it's like down to the wire or whatever. You're in a hairy situation. Boom, you guys get the buff. Well, now everybody has 15% damage and stam, and I feel like um, pairing those two things together means that your team can then just group up and crush the other team. Like you would want to just bum rush them for a team fight, and then maybe you could get like a flag or two out of that. So that's why I paired the stamina and damage. I wouldn't want to see just one of them. I mean, I guess just 15% damage would be okay, but I feel like that's a pretty powerful power up. And then Bloodlust, I think, obviously is a great power up as well. So could be similar there. Um, that was kind of my line of thought behind that. Again, a little bit of a jungle lane, some LOS. Um, you put some towers on the lanes, whatever. You get the idea. It's League of Legends with capture the flag for WoW, basically. Next, I have the Leapfrog Zone Control. So this is literally just like Silver Shard Mines. So each one awards passive points depending on who controls it. The way you control it would be having the most players in it. Just like Silver Shard Mines, it will tick over to your side. And then I thought that maybe the points could go a little bit faster than Silver Shard's passive because you're not actually capturing the cart, which gives you 150 points in Silver Shard Mines. Rather, there's no capture, so maybe the passive points could be a little bit quicker since there's no capture. Um, and then yeah, so they're floating islands, so that means you can get knockoffs on any edge of these circles, of these islands. So knockoffs could be huge. And then also you can jump from island to island. You can get to any island, depending on, if your team's controlling this one and you need to get to this one, boom, you just jump over, whether that's clicking a little like cogwheel or just walking into like a lift or something, or like a teleporter. No loading screen, obviously, but something quick that just zips you over there. And then, yeah, you can just go between all three, and whoever controls, you know, the probably two or three islands for the longest would eventually hit that like 1500 point threshold and win the game. Next map, we have some of these are hilarious. Like they're not new. It's just like somebody's got to innovate, right? Okay, so it's literally like picture Warsong Gulch, Twin Peaks. You got a flag map here. So same concept, new map. Smaller map for 8v8, or if it's for 10v10, just make a new map. If it's 8v8, only 2 levels of elevation in the base. So if you've ever played 6v6 Warsong Gulch, what it does is when you're going up the tunnel, it cuts off, it puts a gate on the pathway to the top floor, the third floor. I don't know if you guys can see my hand. I can't see my Streamlabs. Like I said, this is scuffed. But basically, it cuts off the roof, so you can only get uh, the into the base and then the second floor. So if it was 8v8, I think you would want to do something like that where it's only 2 levels of elevation, so you can't kite forever because there's less players in the map. I would also like to see it a little bit smaller. Um, but again, the Warsong 6v6 was actually decent, and all they did was cut off the roof pretty much. So it's not that hard. Like, if you really can't spend the time to innovate and design a new map, frickin' throw a gate over the roof ramp and send it, if that's as little development as the game's gonna get. But it looks like they are looking at 8v8, so they said they wanted feedback. This is my show of good faith, and here's your feedback. So yeah, only 8v8, 2 levels of elevation. If you make a 10 versus 10 map, then the map size for Warsong, normal Warsong, would be fine. Same with Twin Peaks, and 3 levels of elevation is quite reasonable for 10v10. But when it's not 10v10, when it's 8v8 and 6v6, it's just too big. Like you can, if you get a really good tank and like healer combo or something, like you could just run for years. So again, I know this is not crazy. It's basically this image is just text. Okay, not really that innovative. Very simple, smaller map. and maybe one less level of elevation for if you're going to do it for 8v8. Next, but I'd love to see a new flag map. And if you absolutely have no development budget for RBGs at all, even after announcing 8v8, which would blow my mind, but if you have absolutely no budget, get someone to put a fucking gate on Warsong and make it so that when a tank queues up, it procs that Warsong map with the roof cut off. Boom. All right. Rocket League. Ever wonder what Quidditch, soccer, and Rocket League have in common? Me neither, but dragons fly and soccer's popular and everyone knows how to play. Very simple. Players with a small amount of yards. Sorry. So this is a dragon flying map. Okay. Not sure I would. This is the one map I would say probably don't put it in the rated pool. Um, if you want to brawl it, cool. But I would not. I think that this would be a very good rated map, but it could be a fun random BG or brawl, and also it includes dragon flying. So players within a small amount of yards. I don't know, 3, 5, 8, 10. I don't know what's reasonable for flying on a dragon and trying to move a ball on a field, but they can press an ability key to move the ball, and they also have their speed burst key binding. And then you could add like towers and mountains on the playing field. That's something else I should say. It's very hard. Like obviously I just whipped this up in paint in like under an hour. But like you can imagine maybe having like some mountains and some obstacles on every map. Honestly, every map should have hills and nooks and crannies. I'm not gonna draw that on paint, especially not for free. But yeah, add some freaking cliffs or whatever, and towers, mountains, whatever, and dragon. Boom, you hit a button, it kicks the ball forward and or lobs it up. I don't know, and yeah, maybe even you could even. I just thought of this now. You could even have like a goalkeeper position. I don't know how that would work, but could be fun. All right, next one. That one's not a rated map. This one, very simple. Uh, it doesn't look like a hill, but it is just like literally just like a hill, like a small hill or whatever for both sides. You got an island in the middle with a capture the flag. The purpose of this game is to go down your hill, win the team fight, grab the flag, make it out to your. You could even have, instead of just right clicking a flag, you could have it like a node capture thing, like where it's like 3 seconds or 6 seconds to take the flag. So like you would actually have to wipe the enemy team or something, and then you run it back to your base. Um, so yeah, so each team just literally symmetrical spawns and like distance. Boom, go down. It's an island, so knockoffs are possible on multiple angles. I'd like to see some rocks or pillars so you could protect yourself from knockoffs, but I would like knockoffs to be in play, and you just, boom, whoever wins the fight gets the flag, brings it back. That's a cap. Very simple concept on that one. Just a single single flag map. All right. This one is very simple. It's literally just a Gilneas. Okay. Picture a Gilneas. Okay. However you want to picture that. Again, there's going to be adding some pathing, some environment, easy 3 base map. Keep it relatively small for 8v8. Battlefield Gilneas size is decent for 8v8, but I'd like to see maybe even a bit smaller, or even better, try one that's like same size as Gilneas, just new, or maybe even a tad bit bigger, but 100% try the smaller size. So a smaller size uh, Gilneas style battle map, or Battle for Gilneas style map, where it's, and what I mean by that is 3 nodes, smaller map. Try that out, and if you have the extra budget or whatever, you could even try one that's the same size as Gilneas or a tad bigger. But I would not want to go much bigger than Gilneas. I think if you made it a tad bit smaller, again, new mountains, new paths, new environment, whatever, rivers, whatever you put in there, like it's hard to see on paint and visualize it, but like I can picture a map, and I mean, it can't be that hard, right? Just 3 nodes, simple 3 node map. I think it'd be great for 8v8. I think three nodes is definitely the play for 8v8. I don't know if I've said that on this video. I know I posted in a Discord about it, but the deep wind and AB are too big for 8v8. So yeah, make a 3-node map, and yeah. Okay, stronghold. Players must overrun the other castle, holding it and turning it over to their side to score a point or win the game. If it is just to score a point, the castles switch sides after 1 point, allowing the losing team to respawn on the other side of the map. So basically, Horde spawns here, Alliance spawns here. The name of the game. I'm playing Horde. Okay, so I'm on the Horde side right here where my mouse is. I rush in here, try and team fight them. I don't know, picture a Silver Shard Mines card again, or like non-rated EOTs, where like your the amount of players in there turn the ticker. Um, and then once you guys have enough players in there for a long enough time, it will turn to be Horde, right? If I'm playing Horde. Um, so it kind of is like a team fight in your base, but you got to think if you guys are all in their base, you know, they could have like 2 or 3 guys slip out and go take yours if it's undefended. So the point of this is to turn it over all the way, and then you either win the game. If you don't win the game, and if it gives you a point when you take it over, I think it would be cool. So let's say Horde, like I said, I run in, excuse me, I run in to the Alliance base with my boys. We take over the Alliance thing, and boom, we score a point. As soon as we score a point, it switches. Now this is our base, and the Alliance res over here. So it gives them a chance to regroup, and then we go for points, and then they would go for points, and we would go for points again. The point of that is let's say the game, like you get a point in like 2 minutes or like 3 minutes, right? Well, that's a very short PG, so maybe you could do it like Capture the Flag is currently, where it's up to 3 points. And so let's say we go in, we get a point in like 3 minutes, right? Well, now this is our base. They all regroup, and they could like, you know, play it differently so that now we have to rush this side to get our next point and take this one over. Anyways, Stronghold. I got one more for you guys, I think. Maybe not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I feel like I'm missing one, but yes, I am missing one. Okay. Whoa. All right. So this is Seething Shore without a boat. Without the boat, obviously. Without saying too much, the boat caused some problems, some bugs over time. Also, this isn't Fortnite 2018 or whatever ever anymore. We can get rid of the boat, okay? So the point of this is to have randomly spawning. I would honestly be okay if they just literally did Seething Shore again with just graveyards on the ground. You spawn on the ground. Or, you know, if you have enough budget in your company to pay your developers and maybe some QA, you could just make a new map and same concept, randomly spawn. So for 10v10, it randomly would spawn 3 nodes at a time for 10v10. If it's an 8v8 map, only spawn 2 nodes at a time. And at the start of the game, if the teams spawn here and here on each side of the map, when the game begins, only have the middle node spawn. That way everybody knows where to go at the start. And more, that's not, I don't know why I said that. I guess that's what would happen. You would know that it would be one of these three, or 3 of these 3, or 2 of these 3. But the main reason I say that only the middle nodes spawn at the start is because I remember when Seething Shore first came out, I was playing against, I think it was Balamos, and they got like 1 or 2, I can't remember, I have a clip of it, but they have a, uh, like they would get a node on their side, so like you'd get a free 100 points um, off the start of the game, which is unfair in a rated setting. So that's why I say put the nodes in the middle to start the game off, that they always spawn first, and that way everybody has an equal distance to get to the first nodes, and after that just random. Yep, that's my 10 maps made in under an hour, guys. Hopefully, you know, hopefully this does some good. If it doesn't, don't really care. Um, yep, don't know if I'll see you again. I've been playing Wrath Classic, really enjoying it with some friends, low key, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think. If you have a way to contact me, go ahead and, um, you know, I love to talk about RBGs, so let me know. And yeah, fuck Bobby Kotick. See you later.